Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, place of Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 10 wins in a row, and we are way too far, way too far. Why is it that whenever we choose wrong, but not that we did this time, oh baby, okay. Dust those hands off. It's real Butterbean. Here's your seed, GWHNXX7J. Whenever we are wrong, we never accidentally pick Lazarus. We always accidentally pick F in chat, please. We always accidentally pick the Lost. What's up with that? So here, I think we got a fish. And we don't need it to be a great item. It's a tough one. We don't need it to be a great item. What we really want to see is if it was just a, oh, dude, if I only had my bomb, man! Oh, we got a bomb here, it's all forgiven. All we want to see is a spacebar item, because with a spacebar item and a little bit of elbow grease, we can turn Butterbean into wait what? Which is actually, oh my god, is actually good enough to roll for like the entirety of the run, really. And then this is exactly what I was just gonna say. Grab the Spirit Heart here really sorts things out for us in a big way. Oh my god. I'm very happy to see the HP, because you never know the knock-on effect that it could have had to be low HP going into that room, you know? You start to, when you got HP, you play your game. You know, you play confidently, you play cool, you play collected, at least you try. But it's like the difference between, like, imagine your favorite sports team, you know? How do they play when they're up by a goal versus how do they play when they're down by a goal? You know, you gotta change your game to some extent to, you know, stay competitive. And, you know, the way you want to play the game, if you're down a bit, is going to be different than the way you're going to want to play it when you're up a bit, or when you're tied, for that matter. But it's oftentimes a little sloppier. I think it's fair to say, a little sloppier. So I'm just happy we had that level of confidence. That level of confidence moving on here. I don't mind using a little cash. That's about as much as I'd feel confident doing. The thing is, rubber cement is good enough. But, and I do really like the HP. I think rubber cement was good enough, but we needed a little bit more. It needed to either be a statistical improvement like HP, like we got, for me to be happy. Or it needed to be a spacebar item that allowed us to get wait what, which would also, I mean, I think there's still a case that wait what would be worth more than the HP upgrade, even with our relatively low HP as we speak. Rubber cement is also, it's more fun than good. But it's definitely not the kind of item I would just turn up my nose at, because I got a problem with its baggy clothes. That's, I mean, you're picking up what I'm putting down. It was a skater boy. I said, see you later, boy. It wasn't good enough for me. Sorry, a little coffee burp there. I gotta tell you, I'm a low-maintenance guy, genuinely. Recording this in just a pair of old gym shorts and my own merch. I've gotten a little, slightly high maintenance about this coffee. And not even about the coffee itself. Although we did, look, basically, because of the quarantine, like this is really good by the way, maybe we shouldn't get so greedy, but because of the quarantine, we're going out to eat a lot less, we're ordering in a lot less, which is good, budgetarily speaking. So, sometimes I feel like I can, oh, well, let's go. I feel like I can splurge a little bit more. So we bought some really nice beans, and I gotta say, it's not me, it's my wife. She makes the cold brew maybe once a week. It's delicious. And the old way that I was consuming it, no pageantry. Put it in a cup, put some ice in there. Don't get me wrong, it's tasty. But it was missing just a little certain something. So I started, we got like this nice glassware pre-quarantine when we moved in. And then like a little bit of ice, a little bit of coffee, and then a metal straw that clinks against the glass. Oh, baby. It's, look, it's not a major thing, but it's been very much changing the way I interface with this caffeinated beverage. I'm not necessarily saying it's compulsory, but all I'm saying is I recommend it. Something about a metal glass in an iced beverage. Or sorry, a metal straw. Metal glass doesn't really make any sense, I suppose. But I still got the Monday morning dry throat. Before we do the boss room, we should definitely go to the shop. A little bit of spirit heart action and maybe like another nice item could mean a lot to us. I mean, if you wanted to get... it's a curse. How about that? If you want to get, like, technical... It's not even technical, it's just correct. But if you want to get technical, one of the things we should be doing is probably what we just did right there. And, you know, using Butterbean to try to blow up pots. Because, I mean, Swallowed Penny would be great. A quarter would be even greater. A Spirit Heart from the Fire. I mean, we could have just shot that, but still. It's a good place to be. And I really think, that, again, now that we're 10 wins deep... Can't re-roll that one, unfortunately. Now that we're 10 wins deep, we can kind of start to... I wouldn't say relax, but at least we're here for the real deal, you know? And we really can't relax, because, I mean, the start of this episode was highly dangerous. But we got there nonetheless. Okay, this is a tricky one. We're going to grab credit card. We're going to grab the potato peeler, and I want to use it a minimum of one time. However, before we use it a minimum of one time, we should see what our deal with the devil looks like. Because depending on the way that the deal with the devil shakes down... Oh, what a shot. Depending on the way the deal with the devil shakes down, we may be able to use it multiple times at basically the same end result. So I would not even take the bandage yet. No Krampus, though? Okay, so this is good stuff. I would say that it does not matter, unfortunately. And actually, we're not really going to be able to even play this guy. So let me think about this. Credit card's going to make them both free. We will take them both. I think I hate to say it, but you're just toasted. I wish it could have gone differently. So the Pentagon's very nice. We got Super Bandage. Super Bandage is an HP up. I'm going to use it one time, but I'm going to use it only one time. I really think Potato Peeler is good, and I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, I don't want to be like, oh, I've screwed up a couple of my runs with this, so I never want to use it again in the future. I think that the mistakes that I've made with this item are, they rest with me, not with the item itself. 1 HP for an orbital and a small damage upgrade is actually like a pretty nice improvement. Brother, just let me. I'm begging you, just let me go to the secret room here. So I got no complaints about that. I'm very pleased with where we stand at the present moment. And just listen to this. Oh my god, the ASMR. BEA. I'll say it. BEA beautiful. Okay. Curse of the Blind. Not ideal, but not so bad. Especially like we got a lot of everything right now. We got good DPS, we got, great HP. We got a question mark on an item pedestal in a mob trap room. So, this wasn't really what I was fishing for. In case that's not extremely clear. Okay, you know what, Self? I'm gonna give you my permission to use the Orbital, even though that it is doing a little thing wrong. But I think maybe some of the, and I mean some, I don't mean all. Some of the problem for me, when I use an Orbital, comes down to the fact that I fight using the Orbital. So the whole time I'm doing it, I'm like, I don't think I should be doing this, but I can't stop, I don't know how to quit you. But... what if we just embrace the fact that, yeah, my natural predilection, and we shouldn't do it on all runs. That much is known. Because, we're really only able to do it for now because of the fact that our HP is decent. And really our damage with the tears is great as well. Can I tell you what it is? I wish there was a better reason for it. Using an orbital to kill enemies is fun. Full stop. If you got why wouldn't it be fun? It does an insane amount of damage, and you're constantly, playing in the margins. The difference between success and oblivion exists in the visible spectrum. Sure, why not? Well, there's a good reason why not. We already took it, so there's nothing we could do. That's one reason why not, sure. Don't really need to go to the shop if we got 3 cents. So I'm going to give myself a license. And I haven't done this for a long time. I'm going to give myself a license to have fun. Oi, you got a permit for that fun? Yes, I do. Signed, yours truly. And, okay, well, the license is now, we've gotten a demerit point. Enemies that shoot bombs, a little bit picky. They don't respect our license to have fun. It's a shame. Because, you know, if they let themselves have some fun, maybe they wouldn't be so ornery. You know what'd be weird? What if, like, you know Sheryl Crow's song, All I Wanna Do Is Have Some Fun. I got a feeling I'm not the only one. What if, hear me out here, she was the only one? Like, what if she was playing that song at, like, an accountant's office in the middle of tax crunch? And they were like, Sheryl, could you keep it down a little bit, please? We got a lot of work to do right now. Until the sun comes up over Santa Monica. Sheryl, we're gonna have to issue you a written warning. Please stop singing the song My Favorite Mistake. You're dealing with a very large corporate account right now. You shouldn't be making any mistakes, much less enough mistakes that you have the ability to have preferential treatment towards some of them. This joke is going nowhere. Hey, who out there likes Sheryl Crow-based comedy? Me. That's me responding to myself in a voice that makes people think that someone else said it, but it was really just me the whole time. More Sheryl Crow jokes. Yo, I know y'all are excited for incisive current events-based material, but who wants to hear some Sheryl Crow jokes? Hey Sheryl, how's your sister, Sheryl Pigeon? I don't have anything against Sheryl Crow. And you know, let me hit you with something. Okay, I actually think this is going to be much better for us now that we've got some bombs. I think that the song My Favorite Mistake is actually pretty good. I wouldn't listen to it in my downtime, but if I was driving along and it came on the radio, I would be like, I'll wait to change the station until the end of this when they play that new Imagine Dragons song. But I really do dislike All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun. And I dislike Soak Up the Sun, because they are the same song. All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun. I got a feeling I ain't the only one. All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun Until the Sun Comes Up Over Santa Monica Boulevard. I guess they're like a sequel to, you know, when you're partying at night, it's All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun. When it's 6 a.m. and the sun starts to rise and you still want to keep the rager going, you switch it to I Want to Soak Up the Sun. It's just a little bit too, like, milquetoast, light rock, I guess, for my standards. I'm gonna soak up the sun. I want everyone to lighten up. Is that really, you'd like, she wrote that song when she was like a 44-year-old lady. That's you got strong opinions on, you really think in post 9/11 America what everyone should do is just lighten up a little bit? It's bold, Sheryl. I gotta say, that's bold. Oh, you weren't really considering that when you wrote the song? Okay, sure. I mean, I thought you were an artist, but I guess you just want to write slightly catchy songs about, you know, beliefs that everyone has and, you know, agrees with. Yeah, I got my 45 on so I can rock on. I'm pretty sure she's talking about SPF 45 and not a 45 caliber pistol, but still. I'm just saying, I don't respect it. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And Sheryl Crow, based on her catalog, I don't know if she stands for anything except, like, guilt-free having a couple of mimosas at brunch. And then having indigestion all afternoon. But being like, that's okay, it's self-care. I don't know. Look, I'll admit, I went in a little harder than I expected. I went in a little harder than I wanted to. I'm sorry, Sheryl. What I really should be talking about is that interview you gave 10 years ago where you said to be environmentally friendly, you only use a single square of toilet paper to wipe after you poo. And then when everybody was like, that's gross, you went, it was a joke. I just don't know. I just don't know. You know, maybe it was. If so, then my hat's off to you. Or maybe you got very clean poos. That's not really, you know, I wouldn't know. Because you haven't written a song about it yet. Instead, all of your songs have the same energy as that John Mulaney bit of like, should we be bad and share a plate of fries? It's not that bad. You want to be bad? Throw a brick through somebody's window. Don't order some deep fried... Okay, but don't throw a brick through anybody's window. I'm just saying... I want artists who have some visceralness, okay? I want artists who have some principles. I don't want artists who are, you know, just like, I like to smile. Unless they're like, you know, the Go Team or something like that. You guys see that Budweiser ad in Canada that uses the Los Campesinos song You Me Dancing yet? Alright, maybe this is the wrong... Maybe this isn't the crowd. I'm just, like, I would never have thought, when I was tweeting out to Los Campesinos in 2009, I never would have thought, oh, you know what? 11 years from now, these guys are going to be in a Budweiser ad. By the way, 0% like, yo, Los Campesinos, you freaking sold out. I think... Well, I mean, I won't say for other artists, like, what they should do. What I will say is if I were an artist and I made music that people generally seem to agree was good, sure, okay, allow me this one betrayal of my principles. And then somebody was like, hey, I've really enjoyed all your stuff. By the way, I pirated all of it, probably. But I lost a lot of respect for you when I saw you in that Applebee's ad. I would be like, why do you care? If anything, shouldn't you be stoked that your favorite band had a song in an Applebee's commercial that probably paid more than the gross sales of like their last 6 albums? And as a result, they'll be able to continue to make music, or even more so, won't be forced to make exclusively like, you know, commercial-friendly music because they actually found like another avenue to keep them supported that doesn't compromise the integrity of their art. You'd really be like, oh, I used to be a big fan of Radiohead. But then they licensed their song to Mark's Work Warehouse and Dick's Sporting Goods. Who cares? When you should get on a band's case is when they start to suck. Or just stop watching or listening to them at that point. But I remember, it was like 2005 or 2006, there's a band from Atlanta, Georgia, or Athens, Georgia, pardon me, called Of Montreal. I forget the name of the song, because all of their songs from this era were called, like, you know, Ego Tripping at McMurdo Station. But, the song, it went like, let's pretend we don't exist. Let's pretend we're in Antarctica. And then it got licensed by Outback Steakhouse, which is innately hilarious. And then I think the song went, let's pretend we don't exist. Let's go to Outback tonight. Something like that. And people, and by people I mean online music weirdos, myself included. Not myself in this case, but I am a weirdo, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't want to unexempt myself from the weirdo status. Or I don't want to exempt myself from the weirdo status, I should say. Sure, yes, thank you. They got a little bit, like, up in arms about it. And we're like, how dare Of Montreal sell out? Now, here's my thoughts on the subject. If Of Montreal took that money, ran, and never made anything sweet ever again, that would be disappointing. However, like later that year, they released the album Hissing Fauna, You Are the Destroyer, which is considered their magnum opus and has, you know, a 10-minute bad breakup missive on it that is completely commercially unfriendly and still a genuine work of art. So, you know, who am I to look at Of Montreal and be like, how dare you? Doesn't make any sense to me. I also think there's a difference. I think we've got to talk about the gradations of selling out, you know? Because I'm in the sellout business as well, right? And even within the streamer industry, there's like different grades of selling out. Taking a sponsored deal to check out something you were gonna probably check out anyway, not really selling out. Taking a sponsored deal for something that is completely out of the norm for your channel, and perhaps only available on cellular telephones, but they give you a burlap sack with a $sign painted on it. Maybe a little bit selling out, but even then I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Like, maybe this is compromising my own marketability to some extent. I mean, I have done a couple of sellout deals in the past, but I also, for the most part, I trust my audience. Now, what I'm not saying is do promotions for trash deals and for games that are obviously like bad or exploitative, and then like, you know, your audience is smart enough to know the difference. But there's definitely like, there's some sponsor stuff where I'm like, this is killer and everyone's gonna love it, and then there's some sponsor stuff where in the middle of the stream I just think to myself like, I don't think anybody's really buying this, but you know, what are you gonna do? Like, so I think that you got to consider the different gradations of selling out there as well. And then the other thing is, like, especially for bands, I don't know, like, I don't buy it. Like, if you wrote a song and then Chili's Steakhouse is like, we want to license the song for our commercial, that's not selling out. You already wrote the song. Now, if a Yum Brand's CEO came to you and they were like, hey, Radiohead, we want you to write an original song about Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they did it, I would be like, that's a sellout move. However, at the same time, God, I would love to hear the kind of guitar wizardry that Johnny Greenwood would pull out to market Colonel Sanders' original recipe famous chicken. It's like, and it's been on my mind actually, because like, first, like, it happened in quick succession, and this is very like Canadian indie music focus, but you know, the principle I think is relatable to some extent. So like, right after that Los Campesinos Budweiser ad, the CBC played like a snippet from a concert from this band, the Arkells, who are now very famous in Canada, and this isn't like a hipster like I was there first sort of moment, but you know, Malf and other mutual friends of mine, we were going to music festivals in the late 2000s. Not the millennium, we haven't been there yet, but the decade. And, you know, we saw the Arkells headline. It was maybe Friday or Saturday at the Hillside Festival in 2009 in Guelph, Ontario. And it was like a palatable alt-rock, but kind of like booze-soaked. And then when I saw them like clean cut and they were playing a song on the CBC about how like, you know, it's been years since it found this, and it was like meant to be like an uplifting anthem about like coming back from quarantine. I wasn't like, you sold out, but I was like, times have changed. Because I remember Head on the Wall and My Pee Hardly Makes the Stall, you know? And again, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty Canadian indie rock focused. Not that I haven't changed from 2009 to begin with. Mostly I'm just frustrated, okay? Because I live in Vancouver, and the Vancouver Canucks used to use the song Holiday by Green Day for, you know, when they were the Imperial Empire of the NHL. And eventually they were like, okay, we're not a dynasty anymore, so we got to change up our marketing a little bit. So they took solicitations from the fans, and they were like, what song should we have as like our pump-up song at the arena? And one of the songs, I think it was actually leading the poll, was a song by the Vancouver local band Japandroids, who are, you know, very famous within the indie and rock scenes now. And it was, you know, The House That Heaven Built. It's a great pump-up song. It's got a local connection, and would maybe, I'm not saying they need it, but it would be good marketing for Japandroids as well, because they kind of got like a little bit of a sports culture vibe, in the sense that, you know, the music is about, you know, like, you know, passion and partying and blah blah blah, right? And then the Canucks went, we've heard your feedback, and what we've decided is nothing. And then they didn't use it. And now, anytime the Canucks score, you get to hear, I'm going, I'm yelling timber, or everybody clap your hands. Tuck, 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 tuck. And I'm like, it just has no personality whatsoever, and you're cowards. How about that? How about that? You had your chance. But it would still be nice if, I mean, like, why, come on, get a little local connection. Team's already 93% Swedish. You could give us like a Canadian song. I'm not complaining, by the way. Your team is way better. The Swedish players on the Canucks are carrying it. Well, really, the Swedes and the Americans. So thank you for that. Even if we've already been eliminated from the playoffs by the time this video goes live. Excuse me, sir. You've been charmed, I'm sure. This is a dangerous place just because this run feels long and weak. Ha ha ha, that's what she said. Ha 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 ha. Thanks, Sheryl. Really appreciate your spicy joke. However, it's certainly, like, actually not bad. But it's just because, like, a lot of my recent runs were so good and so, like, quick that this one, by comparison, feels like it's kind of going off, but it's not. I'm going off and taking no prisoners. I really think if I released a comedy special or went on tour, it would be called something like that, because I'm like a pretty angry guy, and I honestly like to speak truth to power, and I don't hold back at all. Sometimes I say some stuff that people aren't ready to hear, but when they hear it, they're like, I've been thinking that for a long time, and I'm not afraid who it offends. If you got a problem with that, you can go back to your little bubble. And no, I'm not putting a mask on. Do you think we're gonna... This was all satirical, by the way. Mostly because no auditorium in the land would dare pay me to play a show there. Mostly because I don't have material, but also because if I did, it probably wouldn't be that good, however. You think we're gonna see a comedy special? Like from Adam Carolla that's called Unmasked or something like that? It has to happen, right? Adam Carolla, unmasked. Saying the things your grandpa says to other grandpas. Now live, not on Netflix, but maybe on, like, probably not Hulu, but Prime Video will pretty much accept anything. Yeah, Prime Video. No offense, Mr. Carolla. I think it's very cool that Toyota named a car after you. Or vice versa, I don't know. Which came first, the Toyota Corolla or Adam Carolla? See, that sounds clever, but I'm sure that he has probably heard that joke, I don't know, upwards of 30,000 times in his life. Yeah, well, I personally prefer the Chrysler Kimmel. Nice one. Hey, why don't you take that one to your boss at Toyota, Adam? Anyway. There's a little joke you could use, though. If anybody asks if you've seen something that... hey, did you see the new Adam Carolla special? You could say, no, thanks, I'm not that much of a car guy. That joke will get a polite chuckle. And it deserves it. No, thanks, I'm not much of a car guy. Can you imagine? Alright, I hate this. We're still in a great spot, damage-wise. Or HP-wise, I should say. But this is it's a touchy boss. It's actually one of the few times I think I've ever thought to myself that perhaps quick bombs is actually useful. Because we can actually, anytime we get in there, we can just dump a few and hope they don't explode in our face. And then this is the version of Chubb that throws our own... come on! Spits our own bombs back at us. There we go. Okay, we got out of it. I honestly think that was a reasonably good fight, believe it or not. Please, for the love of God, I just wish to have the credit card. Definitely, you know, think that was pretty much essential. We got a lot of bombs, so I don't mind this. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not fighting you. Why am I not fighting you? I think that's the play. I'm not fighting you because it's BS. You want me to fight you? Give me something, give me a weapon, you know? Don't make me use my bare hands here. You want me to interface with you? Then you can interface with me, alright? I'm tired of being pushed around. I'm growing a spine in this game, alright? Step 1, don't take any pills, and I'll let you know when we actually get that going so we can work on step 2. Man, Sheryl Crow, Adam Carolla. Is there any celebrity who is predominantly famous in the year 2003 that you're not afraid to, you know, slightly insult? No. Paris Hilton, you're next. Nicole Richie? I've seen the show. More like she's so big. Okay, we're not gonna... Look, no bad words are necessary here, alright? We don't need to be making any enemies. I'm a multimedia superstar, you know? I don't exist just to stoke the flames of drama. I exist to make 4 out of 10 jokes while playing the same game that everybody's seen before. And, you know, I'm pretty unique in the quote-unquote world of comedy. Or the world of quote-unquote comedy. I'm not sure which one. Because most of my best material happens after people fall asleep. Unlike James Corden, whose best material can't help but put people to sleep. It's not to say he's not that funny. It's mostly, I mean, yeah, that was part of it. But he is, I mean, the show's not called, like, you know, 9 a.m. Wake Up with James Corden. It's called Late Night. So, you know, or The Tonight Show. I don't know. It's all this. It's all the same. Hermit me, please. I think this is the first time that the credit card has not been useful for me. Let me finish, because it has been unuseful for us a lot. But it's the first time the credit card has been unuseful, and I actually, for once, am like, it's not really my fault. We got a deal with the Angel, and we also picked it up on a floor where, like, I think it was our last shop, right? So, don't pick that up yet. We'll wait for it. It may be relevant. He may be dead. Yeah, Flight of the Conchords, I got no bones to pick with them. They seem like affable gentlemen. I was going to say young gentlemen. I don't mean that in a negative way, but they are probably like 10 to 15 years older than me. No! Maybe 10. How old is Jermaine Clement? I'm going to say 34. No, sorry, 44. He's 46. You know what? How about that? Pretty close. And if anything, Jermaine, you should take that as a compliment. I thought you were 2 years younger than you were. I did have, and I don't take it as an insult for the record, but somebody in I think it was on Twitter, described me as one of the angriest late 20-somethings, or one of the 20-somethings with the most boomer energy I've ever seen, and I was like, well. You think I'm 20-something. I'm 31, and it's 3/4. Yeah, that seems about right. Like the platform that Harry Potter used. 31 3/4. Actually, that's 7 15/8. Alright, whatever. Weird time to leap to the defense of J.K. Rowling, but you do you, I suppose. Don't hit me, okay? Push me, and then just touch me, so you can have my satisfaction. Satisfaction. Is my impression of what you hear outside of anybody's dorm room. Hold on. We can drop the credit card. I got to think about this one, all right? We would definitely want that. We definitely want that. And I think we want to... That's 2 of hearts. Okay, we can just use that. Hold the front door. Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Hearts. Get out of jail free. Wheel of Fortune is important. Ace of Hearts, credit card. These are not important. So just do that. And get out of jail free. You think I'm going to fight Mega Satan? Get out of here. What you talking about, Willis? There were, and I was in the dorms between 2006 and 2007. There were only 4 things you could hear outside of somebody's door if their dorm room was closed and they had people over. One of them was... One of them would be a 17 to 18-year-old boy doing an impression of Leonidas from the film 300. Another one would be somebody vibing to the Garden State soundtrack. What's the last one? I can't tell you. It's not PG-13. Well, I guess it is PG-13. Just not G. G! I know. You're like, how did he come up with them so fast? I only had 2 of them prepared. I feel like my conversational muscles are well lubricated today. This is definitely... Some days I record Isaac and I'm like, I feel like I just... took off in an airplane. Like all I did was go down a checklist. What day is it? What did I eat? Did I watch any television recently? Today I'm like, we're pogging. We're running the gamut. Now, I'm super stoked, by the way, that we got the mulligan. Mulligan's a great item, but I will warn you, I am about to complain slightly. But really, it's actually a complaint from a point of strength. I'm really happy that we used Potato Peeler one time. I won't be if we narrowly die, but I think that actually giving us the extra damage and the Orbital has turned out to be a surprisingly apt decision that may have previously been slightly unexpected. Normally, well, I guess there's a very easy way to sort of describe this. I feel like we've gotten more yield out of this potato peeler than you would have expected in the average positive scenario. So I'm happy with myself for that. I think we found a strategic seam, and we made it work. We made it happen. Just like, thank you. Okay. Ace of Hearts does not make it impossible to die. But do keep in mind that with the Ace of Hearts, if we really find ourselves in a pinch, we can always dump our trinket and then hit it with the Ace of Hearts to turn it into another hit of survival, maybe. I really doubt that that's going to come to pass as something that's relevant, but you never know. I mean, it would probably be pretty helpful if I could just stop running into enemies as well. But you know what else would be helpful, as long as I'm being like a whiny, entitled baby? It'd be really helpful if you could like give me some items that would allow me to feel better about using my tiers, because they could kill first floor enemies in more than 27 hits. Until we interface with each other on that level, I'm going to continue to play my game, and you can continue to play yours. Don't you have 900 pills that do nothing to be adding to the pool right now? I'll keep telling my jokes. You keep brainstorming another pill you can add to the game that, you know, you farted. Pill description. Makes a fart noise. The player is so trolled. Epic Lamau. I'm telling you, I'm bringing you thought the Soylent was lowering my testosterone? It's pogging off, dude. We're putting the whole system on trial. Hunger Games? No thanks. I'm still full. I apologize to the Isaac design team, though. I'm mostly just having a giggle. But I mean, there's a little nugget of my own discontent with the state of the pills in this game. Some of it is admittedly selfishly motivated by the fact that I can't stop myself from taking them. But, like, I wouldn't be so insolent about it if at least there... Like, I hate to even advocate for this, but if you're gonna have, like, so many pills in the game that do nothing... You should really, in my opinion, I think the game would be better served by at least making them modestly bad. Instead of just like, hey, you got trolled. Well, you know, make them like, you know, like what about a pill that adds a random curse or something like that? Just like, these are ideas off the top of my head. I'm not a game design guy. These might actually make the game worse, and I would hate to be blamed for that, so please don't take my advice. However, I'm just saying, oh, and I would like to blow that guy up, please. Don't take it out of context. We're not gonna play him. But I just, like, I don't know. I feel like if more of the pills were bad, it would be at least easier for me to be like, I'm not gonna take them because they're actually dangerous. Whereas instead of, you know, and it's my own personal foible, I'll admit, but instead when I take a pill that is like just completely inert, I just get mad and I'm like, well, I gotta take all of them now until I can have one that has some meaning associated with it. Now, if you don't mind, I have a track of the day video to record. So if you could find it in your heart of hearts to provide me with the GPS coordinates to get to the boss room. Okay, this is impatience incarnate right here. Just slow your roll. You got nothing to freak out about. Just annoying. This has got to be the right way. Oh, baby, the guillotine. Now, I don't even know. Hey, dog, I heard you like orbitals, so you put an orbital on your orbital so you can orbit while you orbit. We should be completely fine. But I will admit, my goal is to beat the boss. Why? Let's go! Of course my goal is to beat the boss. My goal is to beat the boss while not even having to care about my HP at all and just using my orbitals. Let's see if this dream can become a reality. Little risky, I'll admit. Especially with the guillotine. Make yourself a dang quesadilla. And this is going pretty well. Alright, so this is what, 11 or 12 wins in a row. It's a start, and this one was the spiciest of the day. Of the 3 episodes I've recorded today, this one was the spiciest. But that's 11 wins in a row, and we're back on the horse. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. See ya!